We're live. We're live. We're live.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning,
baby.
Lisa. How you doing? Like. Good morning. We have a good message today
The requirement
of resilience.
of resilience.
The requirement of resilience.
It's necessary.
Yeah. And I wanted to title it that way because whether you and I normally we focus on entrepreneurs, but I think it's bigger than that. I think it's not just for entrepreneurs. I think it's for people. You gotta be resilient.
People, period.
Yes. If you make it to adulthood, resilience is going to become a part of your life. Not everything is going to be sunshine and roses. There are going to be some seasons that are better than others and some seasons that are worse. There's ups and downs. That's a part of it. That's it. And how you deal with the downs and how you deal with the things when it's not great has a great impact on the quality of your overall life.
We're going to talk about it.
And we're going to talk about it today.
Back in a moment.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to you each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We do have a topic today on this Thankful Thursday.
Yes, it is. The requirement
of resilience.
Yes, we do.
Why do you believe that resilience is required?
Well, we're going to go through it again. I just got to respond to this right here. Carry on, please.
So I think resilience is definitely a mainstay. It's definitely a necessity for just about everything. Good morning, Dr. Deborah. How do you feel about resilience? Is it passe? Is it necessary? Will you be able to overcome certain situations without resilience?
Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine named Penelope. Penelope's been with us for years, probably about 3 or 4 years. She's been our friend. And Penelope goes through seasons where she's not given much attention. She's left alone to her own devices. And then she gets cursory attention and followed by the guilties of, I haven't been watering you, Penelope. I'm sorry, Penelope. Here's some water for you, Penelope. Well, Penelope she has moved with us too. I think we moved twice in the past 3 years. Twice in the past 4 years, okay? Twice in the past 4 years. And she's been with us
2 places.
2 different homes, okay? So she's moved locations with us, and she is a resilient and beautiful and green plant that you can't kill her.
She's not a cactus.
She's not a cactus. She's just a plant.
She's not just a plant.
She's a plant named Penelope. She's not just a plant. You're right. But she's a vivid reminder of resilience. She takes whatever she's given and uses what she needs to use and holds on to the rest in case there's a drought.
Which likely there will be.
You don't have to have a drought just because you've had them before. I mean, it's not a lifetime set. I told the story here before about the amaryllis plant, my discovery of an amaryllis plant. And we used to work in a big office, and they had this thing called the fishbowl. The fishbowl was a big section of the office, was all glass, where all the receptionists and secretaries were.
Good morning, Miss Shirley.
Like look into the fishbowl and all the ladies working in there. It was mostly men around the building, but the ladies were all in the fishbowl. And one of the secretaries left the job. She took all her stuff in a box, but she left this plant on her desk. And she was gone probably 6 months. And that potted plant was sitting on her desk because no one took the job. And the dirt was all dry. It was completely dry dirt. There was nothing growing in it. It was just a plant, a pot with dirt in it, okay? And it had like a little bit of a bulb, but it was just dry is what it had. So I decided one day, and my office was interior. I didn't have an outside window. My office was interior. So I didn't get any natural sunlight in my office. So I took this daggone plant and I went to the sink and ran water on it. Ran some water on it, put it on my desk. And every now and then I look at it and I noticed the water was I started to water it a little bit and the dirt started to get a little bit moist. And I came in one morning and there was a beautiful budding flower. And I was like, what is this? This is an amaryllis plant. It's part of the cacti family. It can go for a long time with no water. I didn't know that. But wow, what a demonstration for a young man like me to see stuff ain't dead. It ain't dead. It might look dead. It ain't dead.
Yeah. And Brian actually bought me an amaryllis.
I did.
I want to say about 8 months ago. And the interesting thing was the plant was leaves when he gave it to me. It was leaves and it had some closed buds on it.
Right.
Just not really much to look at. And the instructions to the plant was to put it in the dark. Put it in the dark. Make sure that it was watered sufficiently the one time and to leave it alone. And then I happened upon it and it had opened up so beautifully. That was gorgeous. I ended up painting it as a matter of fact.
That's right. She had it in her prayer, her what do you call that closet?
My prayer closet.
Her prayer closet. Closet now. And it budded into a beautiful flower. In our lives today, the characteristic of resilience is going to be tested again and again and again.
Good morning, Evan. He says ERGJ in the building. I'm one step closer to being in the book I wrote, The Black Billionaires Club.
Amen. One step closer. Inch by inch, everything's a cinch. You will get there if you stay on the right track and keep moving forward. Congratulations to you. The acknowledgement that you're one step closer. Amen. Good morning, Dr. Deborah Dunson. Good morning, Sister Shirley. Did I miss anybody? Did they post it already?
Good morning, Craig. What's good? No,
Dr. Deborah says,
I feel that resilience is a necessity in order to overcome life challenges.
Necessity. Bare necessities. That means you must have it. You can't get by without of it. Like water is a necessity. You got to have water. I don't care if you like it or not. You got to take some in. Okay. It's a necessity. Your body will lock up like a 79 Oldsmobile with no oil in it. It's going to lock up. Okay. Cars require oil. Oil is a necessity. Cars have to have gas. That's a necessity. And grown-ups have to have some resilience if they want to have any kind of quality of life. That's what I think you need to have it for, to have a quality of life.
Why would that be?
Because if you don't have resilience, what happens is you keep getting defeated and defeated and defeated, and you keep quitting and quitting and quitting, and your life ends up small and inconsequential.
So you don't hang on long enough to get a result.
Right. Or you don't go through the storm that's required. How many times, go ahead and tell the story, baby, or we can tell it together if you like, of what has to happen before a caterpillar become a butterfly.
They've got to go through quite a bit.
Let's tell it this one version of it, because you've heard these stories before too. A little boy in his garden behind his house, he sees something trying to break through this little chrysalis. Okay, he called it a little sack. He could see it looked like webbing. He could see something trying to get through that. Okay, he saw this thing struggling to make it through this sack, this chrysalis.
And he saw the struggle and decided, I'm going to help it.
I'm going to help it out a little bit. So the boy decides to make it a little bit easier for it, and he decides to tear like a little bit of an open so that this thing that was in there could get out easier. So the boy tears it a little bit so that they can get out. And the thing came out and fell to the ground and died.
Absolutely.
Okay. What was going on was that caterpillar was becoming a butterfly. It had gone through the gestation period that it needed to go through.
But part of the struggle is actually necessary
Yes, because the caterpillar has fluid in its body, and it needs to squeeze through that opening so that that fluid is forced out the back. Okay, it has to squeeze through so that the fluid can get out of its body, so that it just has a body that can fly.
So that the leaves can be thin enough to fly.
Yes, not only the leaves, but the body.
I mean the wings.
The wings and the body, they have to squeeze through to squeegee off, if you will, or to squeeze out the fluid, get it out of there so that the thing can fly. And without the struggle, it doesn't squeeze through and it doesn't get rid of the things that is not going to serve it anymore. Mm-hmm. And that's a wonderful illustration about our lives. We sometimes have to squeeze through, and denying. That little boy meant well. By the way, he meant well, but by denying the struggle, he ended up killing the caterpillar.
Absolutely, killing the butterfly.
The butterfly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and we don't realize that oftentimes. We don't think of the necessity of that pain that was in our lives,
or that struggle, that down season. Yeah, you've been through some of those,
and we often want to race through them.
Mm-hmm. You've been through some down seasons. You've been through some down seasons. I've been through some down seasons. There have been seasons in your life, if you made it over the age, I'm going to say 30. There have been seasons in your life where you felt you were doing everything right, but it wasn't clicking. It wasn't working. And you was wondering, God, why hast thou forsaken me? Mm-hmm. But he wasn't forsaking you. He was allowing you to squeeze out fluid. Allowing. Now, if that boy had that situation, if he was armed with knowledge and wisdom, if someone had been there, like a grandfather or father, said, no, leave it alone. It has to do that so that it can fly. If it doesn't do that, it won't be able to fly. Okay? What happens when you see a chick struggling to get through the egg? If you decide to open that egg for that chick, what happens to it? That chick doesn't develop the strength it needs to hold its neck up.
Well, you know what's interesting? I watched the other day. I watched some snakes hatch, and they have what's called an egg tooth.
Okay, egg tooth. Yes. I've heard this before.
Absolutely. And what I found interesting was, so the egg tooth is supposed to enable them to get out of the egg once they finish gestating. In there. I didn't realize that it was an actual egg, like a shelled egg. But it's a soft shelled egg.
Right.
This particular, they're born in clusters. So there was 6 snakes, 6 eggs. And so I watched each of them hatch one at a time. They broke through, they grew. They have, even after they hatch, they have to stay clustered. And so 5 of them broke through.
Okay.
But the 6th one actually didn't break through.
Okay.
And he didn't have an egg tooth.
Okay.
So he was finished gestating in there, but he couldn't get out.
Okay.
And he was going to die.
And what happened?
They cut it open.
The other newborns.
No, the people.
Oh.
The people came and cut it with a little scissor. They cut a little tiny hole. They didn't open it all the way. They just cut a little the part that would have been pierced by the egg tooth. And he was able to navigate the rest of the way.
How did they know he didn't have an egg tooth?
Because he was the last. They're supposed to gestate for 60 days. And so it was already 60 days and he had not gestated. So they thought that maybe he was dead or maybe he wasn't in there. And he cut it just a teeny bit. And after they cut it just a little bit, he wiggled and wiggled and wiggled, and they saw that he didn't have an egg tooth.
Okay. I thank you for the story, by the way. I love watching nature shows, but
I don't.
Oftentimes, I am aggravated by people's intrusiveness. These animals are out there doing stuff. Move your Jeep back. Jesus, get out of the way. You don't have to get any closer. Let them do what the animals do. It bothers me so much. Snakes, that kind of story.
Dr. Deborah said those people were his coach. That's right. They coached him out. He came out, and he was fine after that.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Thank you again, Dr. Deborah, for being there last night for the coaches only. Have you guys ever seen I'm not talking to you, Evan. Have you ever seen the IP Man movies? They're martial arts movies.
No.
There's 4 of them. It's Ip Man, then Ip Man 2, 3, 4. Mike Tyson was in Ip Man 3.
Mm-mm.
Over the past few days.
Never even heard that.
Well, you would love. Well, I don't know if you love because I don't even know if you like martial arts movies.
No.
But it's set in the turn of the century all the way up to the 70s. It's the time period. It's historical, okay, and it's like semi-biographical, okay, because it tells the story of Bruce Lee's trainer was this guy Ip Man, and Bruce Lee comes into it in the last couple episodes, okay. So, but Ip Man, he practices this thing called Wing Chun Kung Fu. And he's a teacher of it. That's what he wants to do with his life. He wants to teach Kung Fu. Mm-hmm. When the Japanese invade, they shut down all the Kung Fu schools, and he had to try to eke out a living, like moving coal and all that, scrambling to feed his family, finding potatoes here and there, struggling, but he has a skill to teach this Kung Fu. He wants to get back into it. Anyway, he becomes a grandmaster at it. And he has to demonstrate it every so often that he is a grandmaster at it. He's a grandmaster of Wing Chun Kung Fu. In the last episode, he comes to America and has to prove that he's a grandmaster of it. Okay. And I feel like I'm the grandmaster of sales training. Sales training from a webinar or from a platform. I got, maybe because I've been watching movies lately, but last night I got that feeling after it was done. Because Dr. Deborah, during it, for some reason, nervousness came on me. I don't know why. But after it was over, I realized what I had poured out.
And it was good.
My wife would tell me if I was off my game or not. She would tell me it was good. The content was amazing. And I wrote about it this morning. I wrote 2 articles this morning. Some mornings, y'all, I get up. Brother Brian got to spit. You got to put some stuff down. I don't rap. I write.
I'm grateful. So how have you had to express resilience in
what a tough question.
Life?
Most people don't show you that they're down seasons. Look on Facebook. I saw a funny but poignant post this morning by a lady named Omai Kofi, I think is what her name was. She goes, some of y'all are going to have to put, budding in front of those titles that you say you have on Facebook. Yeah. Budding, whatever it is, instead of just what it is. I am a multi-channel communication switch operator or something like that. A budding this, a budding life coach. You're a budding this or that. And I thought it was funny, but how poignant is that?
But that there are almost every success story has a season of overcoming.
Almost.
I was trying to be
no
nice
one
about
gets to success completely without overcoming something
unscathed.
If you see someone married for a long time, you see someone that's overcome something. You see someone that builds a successful business and any levels of success. You're looking at someone who's overcome something.
Yeah.
Yes, you have. You've overcome something. Okay. I always quote Paul Harvey. I hope to be so successful in life that one day someone asks me, what was the key to my success? And I will say simply this: I get up after I fall down, or I get up after I get knocked down. I get up.
Dr. Deborah said it was good. I could not tell that you were nervous. I was proud to call you my sales coach.
Wow.
I was showing off in front of my visitors.
Dr. Deborah did have a visitor in the room, and I like that you had your visitor with you on the couch. That just looked like a cool scene to me, Dr. Deborah. You were sharing your sales coach with your friend. I liked that very much. That was a highlight for me.
Absolutely. I think it is so interesting, even at the start of success. So one of the people that I want to remember, it wasn't the start of her journey, but it was the start of her success. She began to tell her story of resilience. Okay. Tiffany Haddish.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So she's taken some subsequent falls from grace right now, but I believe she's going to come back.
She's not going far. She's too good. She's got too much momentum. Even if she has a fall, even if she's penniless right now, she won't be gone for long. She's got too much. Go ahead, baby.
Dr. Deborah said another one was off camera. Oh, there was more than one person in the room. Amen.
That was nice.
Amen. So one of the things that she highlighted was that not only was she homeless, but that she was also in foster care, and that she had also dealt with quite a bit of concerns or consternation because of her mother.
Her mother didn't raise her, didn't like her. Nobody raised me, all that kind of stuff.
Well, her mother had a car accident and suffered a mental break as a result of it. And because of that, Tiffany had to raise all of her siblings and did the best that she could as a child herself to do what she could to keep everybody together when she could, or, keep everything intact as much as she could. But based on that story, a lot of people, even before that story, it had to come out because a lot of people were trying to act like this was a shoot to stardom. Mm-hmm. Like it was just a shoot to stardom. That, she had done girls trip and that was it. It was an overnight success, but she had slept in her car for years. She had slept in her car for over a year.
One of her friends now, Kevin Hart, saw her after a show and her car was full of all of her belongings. And he said, "Tiffany, what are you doing?" Okay. And Kevin Hart paid for her hotel that night. And he helped his little sister. Okay. Man, resilience. She had resilience. How easy would it have been for her to quit her dream and go get a retail job somewhere and just eke out a living? Now, I'm not knocking anybody that has a retail job. I promise you I'm not. But she had a dream of something bigger. And that's the only way you reach those levels of being resilient enough to keep trying, to knock on that door one more time, to risk getting that head knocked in one more time. That's the only way. We have civil rights in this country right now because of the resilience of millions of people. Mm-hmm. Millions of Black people had resilience to get us to this place that we're at right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is. I think it is a necessity. It's one of those unspoken necessities, particularly for those of us that are in between the boomers and the millennials. We had to experience a lot of resilience because the boomers were already gone. They were gone doing their stuff. And as children, many of us, I guess they're calling us Gen X, but I don't think it's Gen X. Anyway, we had to raise ourselves. We had to.
Yeah, we call latchkey kids. Mm-hmm. That's our generation. We were the first latchkey kids because mom and dad we were the first generation that grew up knowing our quality of life wouldn't be as great as our parents. Because both of our parents had to, that's what Jimmy Carter said, which is people hate it, but he was right. Okay. Your generation is not going to have the same quality of life your parents did. You're going to be poorer. You're not going to live as well. Okay. That's just the way it's going. But anyway, we were latchkey kids. Lisa's right. We had to get our key around our neck. All my classmates had one. So did I. Okay. And go home and stay in the house. Okay. Because both parents had to bring in some money. If you had both parents. If you had both parents. And if you only had one parent, praise God, bless her. Because she had to have amazing resilience. I never understand how mama made it through the week when she never, ever got a good night's sleep. Because she had 3 jobs. Because that's why she never got a good night's sleep. I caught Lisa last night. I before she was able to leave the room, I was able to put on the TV the racist history of Coca-Cola and Cadillac. And she sat there and watched it. Okay, the racist history of them. Because you don't want to watch those kinds of things, but I got you to watch it last night. The racist history of Coca-Cola and Cadillac. Okay, because they wouldn't sell to Black people, especially Cadillac, for a long time. They wouldn't sell to us. They wouldn't market to us. And we Black people in the 60s that wanted those Cadillacs, they would pay a white man, a front man, $300 to go buy them their car. So they was profiting on that. The racist history of it until Cadillac, why should these men be making money that should be ours? Why not we sell to them directly? And then they started marketing only to the elite of Black people. Okay. And the caption was, why do Black people like Cadillac so much? I like Cadillac, okay, a lot. Yes. It's my favorite car.
Maybe that's why you've been
It could be, but it's still my favorite car. I wasn't trying to buy Cadillacs in the 60s, but I have a Cadillac now.
It's an element of success.
I have a Cadillac now. I had several Cadillacs in my life. I probably had 4 Cadillacs in my life. I had an Eldorado, I had a Seville, I had a DeVille. Come on, man. I like Cadillac. Big old car.
Big old car.
Why do Black men like Black Cadillacs? Because you can't put all that ass in a Volkswagen. Oh!
I can't with you.
Yeah, but that's a Volkswagen. We have a Volkswagen too, and I put mine. Do you realize? Let me tell you this about Lisa and I. Okay.
I'm very afraid.
Well, this might be a little bit risque. Okay. My wife gets her booty rubbed a lot during the day and every night when I come to bed. Every night. Part of the thing. I rub my wife's booty. Okay. Now, I don't do it because I like to do it. I do it because Lisa needs me to rub her booty.
I can't believe you said this on television.
That's not true. I enjoy it too. Okay.
Resilience.
Resilience.
What did you?
You really
endure?
weren't nervous about what I was about to say.
I was. Trust me, I don't trust you when it comes to being day class A. I never know what you are going to share.
But I won't be crazy. I won't cross the line. What's that look about? What's all this? What's all that?
Shirley, Dr. Deborah, he won't cross the line.
No, I might go up to the line, but I'm not going to say anything too crazy. I won't cross the line. And you have to cross the line
in order to know where it is.
To know where it is, right. You have to risk crossing the line just to know where it is. Your kids teach you that all the time, especially little kids, toddlers. They teach you that all the time about finding the lines. They're going to cross the line. By the time they 13, 14, and crossing the line, they're habitual line steppers, okay? They cross the line. They're habitually line steppers, and you have to check them. Every now and every so often, check them. I used to say to my kids, I'm going to give you every butt whooping that you earn. Okay. I won't give you any butt whoopings that you don't earn. So if you earn a butt whooping, I love you enough to give you every one that you earn. Is that okay? And the kids would be all confused by that statement. They were always perplexed. What is he talking about? Well, hopefully they remember it as in their adult life. I gave them every butt whooping that they earned. Okay. Did your mother tell you to do it? Yes, she did. Did you hear your mother when she tell you to do it? Yes, I heard her. Did you do it? No, I didn't. Okay, so you've earned this butt whooping you're about to get. What are you talking about?
That's right. Brian K. McNeill, you have crossed the line, especially the shoe thing. Definitely.
No,
that was a line cross.
That wasn't a line cross. I was creating opportunity for more shoes. You want to go on a shoe shop this week? I'll tell you what I'll do, Sister Shirley. Since Sister Shirley thinks I crossed the line, let's see. On your next birthday, how about this? On your next birthday, I'm going to buy you 10 pair of shoes on your birthday.
You got rid of 48 pairs.
I'm not going to buy 48 at once, but I'll buy 10 pair of shoes on your birthday. Deal?
Yeah.
Hit the rock. Y'all saw us say it. Next January 12th is her birthday. I'm going to buy her 10 pair of shoes on that day. Okay. And we said it publicly just so because Sister Shirley said I crossed the line for some reason.
You did.
Shirley, that was 8 years ago, Sister Shirley. 8 years ago. It shouldn't even count anymore. That's right.
That's right.
You got I said it. My word is my bond. Okay. On her birthday, I'm gonna buy her 10 pair of shoes. She said I got rid of 48 pair of shoes, but I think that's ridiculous to imagine buying 48 pair at one time. Where are you gonna put it? Okay. And even if you did, you won't even wear them all. You'll probably wear your favorite 3 or 4. That's it.
Dr. Deborah said that's going to be a fun shopping trip. Yes, it is.
Are you going to go shopping or just do it all online?
No, I'm going to go shopping.
You're going to go shopping. I'm going to buy 10 pair of shoes, and y'all can hold me to it. Y'all can hold me to it. I'm going to buy her 10 pair of shoes on her birthday. On or about your birthday, because in case if your birthday falls on a Sunday or Monday, for example, we can go that Saturday and get them all. So on or about her birthday, I'm going to get her 10 pair of shoes. You think it's going to be a fun shopping trip, Dr. Deborah? It'd probably be a hassle for you.
Why?
After you buy like the first 3 or 4 pair, I can imagine you. I had enough of this.
Thank you, Shirley. Shirley said we're going to hold you to it. Amen. Hold them to it.
Are you going to do it in one store?
No.
No, you're not gonna do it in one store. You're gonna do several different stores, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And maybe some online.
Should I set a budget? No, not set a budget. It would have been big. It would have been like $1,000 or something, or $2,000, whatever. Because I don't want you to buy one pair of shoes, $1,000, okay? And some of you online, but I might set a budget of $1,000 or $2,000. What's fair? For 10 pair of shoes, what should the budget be for 10 pair of really good shoes? Of really good shoes. You know, I want her to get stuff that she wouldn't normally buy on her own. That's what I want you to buy.
Anyway, the requirement of
I want you to get the kind of shoes that you would not normally buy on your own. So they gotta all be high quality. Okay, all gotta be high quality. Men's shoes are more expensive than women's shoes. Okay, by far. Men's shoes, to get a decent pair of shoes, you spend $90, $100, $150, $200. That's what you gotta spend for men's shoes. Women's shoes, you get it for $15, $20.
Not no more. Those days are long.
Okay,
gone.
40, 50.
65, 100.
Okay, that's men's shoe prices. Well, men's shoes are more now. Everything is more expensive now. Good
Mm-hmm.
God. All right, so back to the lecture at hand.
Exactly. Shirley said, I think $1,000 is a good budget.
Okay, good. For 10 pair of shoes. So that's an average of $100 pair of shoes. That's good. There might be some great shoes you get for $70 or $80. Okay, that's good. $1,000 should be a good budget.
Mm-hmm.
Resilience. Sister Shirley, you like to say on here, or you said on here a couple of times that you consider yourself retired. You're busy as a bee, but you're retired from working. You don't get to be retired without having learned some things in life,
right,
and overcome some things in life and been through some things in life. Dr. Deborah, she's our good friend because we've gotten close to her and we've heard her speak it. We've heard her preach it. We know she's been through some things that a lot of people hadn't been through. Mm-hmm. My lovely wife has been through some things that I hate to even bring up, but she's been through some things to get her to where she sits right now. You've been through some things to make you that person. You know, because you've been through some of these things, because you can properly share. Mm-hmm. You can properly counsel.
Absolutely.
Your testimony is legit because you've been through some things. You've demonstrated resiliency.
That is a good point, because it's difficult for me to imagine taking advice from someone who has never been through a similar trial to something that I may have been having challenges with. What happened?
Is that dry erase sheets over there? That rolled up in the corner?
No.
Oh, because I've been looking for some more dry erase sheets, and I know we have some in the house. I can't find them.
That was so random.
I know. I've been looking for them for a long time, and my eyes lit upon that. Oh, they're over there. Because I've been looking for it. I need new dry erase sheets for my wall.
Aluminum foil.
What?
Oh.
It's not aluminum foil. I just saw it, baby. It looks like your dry erase sheets from here.
It's not.
Okay, it's not.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what I was getting ready to say.
So
I was going to say it's difficult to even begin to work with a coach or consultant or therapist.
Whoops. That you know hadn't been through nothing yet.
Right.
Like women who's never had a baby are being birth coaches. They've never had a baby. Now you may feel a little pressure, but they went to school to learn how to teach this, okay? They took a class so they can be certified birthing class instructors, and she's never had a child, okay? How good is that instructor going to be?
Mm-hmm. Dr. Deborah said, come to think of it, many of the great things that I get to do now came out of the adversity that I've overcome in the past. Amen.
Many of the great things. No, she said that the great things came out of the adversity. A kite flies higher against the wind, against the adversity. Without the adversity of the wind opposing it, it won't get off the ground. Okay? It won't. We need pressure to get higher. You know, that's one of the things, that's the great thing about sports, the drama. You got well-conditioned, well-trained, well-coached, world-class athletes trying to beat other well-conditioned, well-trained, well-coached, world-class athletes. And you have the other opposing team trying to prevent you from your goal, and you're trying to get your goal, and you're trying to prevent them. So that's adversity inherent. That's natural drama. that you have to go through. And for one team to become a champion in that, like in basketball, we just crowned a champion. The Denver Nuggets are the NBA champion this year. 30 teams started out the season with the same goal. 30 cities wanted to be the champions. And they whittled it down to the final 16, then the final 8, the final 4, the final 2. And one team came out victorious. And then there was popping of champagne and celebrations and a parade. And dancing and singing and hugging and crying and celebrations. Why? Because it was deserved after having overcome all of that adversity. So my point of that long drawn out thing is, when you come through an adversity, you should take a moment to celebrate. It's appropriate. It would be inappropriate for them to get the championship and act like it was just another day at work.
Shirley said, Brian, I lived in Selma, Alabama as a child.
Oh, wow.
Not being able to eat in some restaurants, separate water fountains in the courthouse, and more. Wow, that's resilience to overcome that.
That's amazing.
Dr. Deborah says, research has shown that some of the most resilient children are being reared in some of the most challenging communities.
Yes, and they become better adults. They become higher quality adults. Okay, these resilient children, these children that had to go through that, they become better. You've been tying and untying and tying and untying that thing. I know what that means.
What?
You know.
I don't. Oh, my goodness.
That's what that means.
That doesn't.
That's what that means, baby.
That doesn't.
You've been tying and untying the string on you. That means I need to stop what I'm doing.
It's just there. It's interesting to do. I like the feeling of it on my fingers.
It's just there. There's something interesting to do.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
I don't have to pay attention to tie and untie.
I know, but finish. God.
I did it several times.
You did it 100 times since we've been on the air.
Yes.
We missed the moment of thought of the day or the card of the day or whatever you're going to do. All right. Resilience is a requirement. I didn't want today's topic title to be, is resilient importance, or how to get resilience, or why do we need resilience? I didn't want none of those things. It's a necessary requirement. The requirement of resilience. That's how we landed on that title today. The requirement of it. Go ahead, baby.
Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope or confidence.
And guess who that was by?
Helen Keller.
Say it one more time. Read it again slowly.
Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement.
That's the first sentence. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement.
Nothing can be done without hope or confidence.
I love it so much. Not only is it true that nothing can be done without hope or confidence, nothing will even begin without hope or confidence. It won't even be, you won't even try it without some hope and a degree of confidence in the outcome. You won't even start. I like that statement so much. That's a good one.
Absolutely.
So understand, and here's how, if you want more resilience, how about that? Be careful, like the old adage, be careful what you ask God for. Okay. Like, Lord, please bless me with patience. Okay, Lord, please bless me with resilience. Here's how you get it. You get tested. You go through a trial to develop your resistance.
That's right.
That's what happens when you need more resistance or when you want more resilience. When you need more, you get tested. You get put in a season or in a moment or 10 moments. Okay, it could be a lot longer than a moment. It could be a bunch of moments where your resilience is tried. That's how you get it. Lord, bless me with patience, okay? It puts you in a position where you have no choice but to be patient. And normally you don't like it. You don't even like it when you have to be patient, but you have to. I know this sounds, I don't want to come across as if I've completely conquered or understand it all the way. Okay, I'm on the same journey. I'm on a journey like you. My resilience gets tried as well. My patience gets tried as well. I don't have all the answers, and I don't want to come across as I'm coming up from on high. But I do understand that my little bit of it is, your resilience will be tried. Lisa and I both are entrepreneurs. And one of the most beautiful, and we both have worked without a net since we met us. Neither one of us have ever had that together anyway. We've never had a job, that a paycheck. We've never had that. But we still live, we still eat every day. We still maintain household, we still buy cars. We paid off 2 vehicles this way. Okay, but anyway, the point of that is there has been ups and downs. A lot of them. A lot of ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so grateful to my Heavenly Father that I learned early in our relationship, and it's been consistent. My wife can handle a downturn. She's resilient. She's not going to panic. She thinks I give her too much credit for that, but Brian, you think I'm strong and all that stuff, but I've seen you, baby. You learn how to handle adversity.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so take the credit for that.
I'll receive it.
Finally, Jesus Christ. I can handle my resiliency. And I know the next day, if I wake up the next day, I got to get going. I don't get to stop trying. We get to try and try again. We get back up again and try again. If stuff don't work out, we try again. We try a different way. We keep trying because the only thing we cannot do is give up the game. That's just not an option. So you have to keep going until. And I do, like Helen Keller's quote, I do work with the hope and the confidence that it will have a desired end. Mm-hmm. I work with every hope and every confidence. If I do my thing, if I stay in the game, I'm going to eventually win.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's just how it goes.
I think that's more true than not. I think that endurance is the greatest payoff.
We haven't even brought that word up yet. We've been talking about resiliency, but its sister is endurance. Mm-hmm. Resiliency and endurance matter too.
I think so. Sister Shirley says that is the key. Keep going and never give up.
Yeah. Keep going and never give up. I had a young man today reach out to my inbox 6:15 this morning, and he looks to be in his 20s. Okay. Normally, I ain't got much time for somebody in their 20s that coming across as an expert in anything. Okay. But this guy says, Brother Brian, I've looked at your Facebook page and your Instagram page, and you have done some dope things, is what he says. You've done some dope things, but you don't have any great speaker reels, and you don't have this and that. I was like, okay. So I looked at that. He goes, can I do that for you, is what he said. And I went to his Facebook page, and he has this video telling his story about how he almost lost his life and how he got a felony for stealing $14,000 from his company and is embarrassed and all that kind of stuff. He got a video telling his story. It was really, really compelling. I want Lisa to watch it. And then he showed some examples of his work on his 2-minute speaker reel for this person and that person. And I'm like, oh, wow, that sounds pretty good. So I accepted his friend request, and I'm going to let this young man show me what he got, and I consider him, because normally I would have just discounted him altogether because he's too young. He don't know anything yet. But I watched his video. He's been through some things.
Dr. Deborah says resilience and endurance goes together like peanut butter and jelly. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't even like jelly, so. Although I did have jelly on the sandwich last week.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I just like peanut butter by itself. Okay.
Something is not plugged in.
It's right here.
You're kicking stuff around.
Your office is set up as a customer trap. All this stuff should be in a place where I can't possibly kick it over. You can eliminate the challenge. Look at the stuff falling down. A mic just fell off a stand. Fix your office. A picture came off the wall since this show right here. Yeah. What's going on? You have a ghost? A gremlin in your office?
I have a gremlin.
How many of y'all remember gremlins? Since this show's been on one of her pictures, it was a heavy picture too. It wasn't a picture, actually.
A spirit square.
It was a spirit square. Shouts out to Miss Melissa Price. We have 3, I think. 2 squares and 1 rectangle. We got 3. We got a smaller one than this too, with seashells and stuff in it. Yeah. We got at least 3. Okay. And we got the big one in our bedroom that Melissa made for us with the eagles in it that we got from Corpus Christi, Texas, and our scriptures in it, and a cigar in it, a little rhino in it, and some tiger's eye in it. and it's just beautiful. It's right in our bedroom wall on the way to the bathroom. I love it very much. It's a prized possession.
Absolutely. It's a story box.
Yeah, and it's Ussins. Got Lisa's scripture, my scripture in there. It's really, really nice. If y'all haven't seen it, I should take a picture of that and post it today.
You should. It was beautiful. And the sentiment was also beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And the journey of how her husband helped her build that box and how they distressed some of the wood before they put the epoxy on it. He had to burn some of it so it looked right. How about that? Isn't that interesting? He had to put some of the wood through stresses and burns for it to look right.
Shout out to Nathan and Melissa.
Nathan Price, Miss Melissa Price, Nathan Price, had to go through some stress in order to look right for the box. How close is that to our lives? We got to go through some things in order to be right, to be good people. Yeah. To be good people, you got to go through some stuff.
I think so. I think there is some level of truth to that. Absolutely.
Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, he tells a story about how he got his name. His name was Napoleon Hill. And his parents named him after a rich uncle in the hopes that if they named their son after the rich uncle,
it would curry some favor.
And maybe he would leave some money to them. Mm-hmm. Their uncle was rich. And he
didn't have any children.
And he didn't have any children at first. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and Napoleon tells that story this way. He's talking about how glad he was that he didn't get any of the money from his uncle. The uncle ended up having children, and he gave all the money to the children. And Napoleon Hill tells the story. He's glad he didn't get it because his children became useless adults. Mm-hmm. Useless, lazy, slovenly, unproductive. Mm-hmm. And he found it to be a blessing the way he tells the story. They never had any struggles. They always had servants, and they grew up to be useless in his opinion. Mm. Yep. So it was a blessing for him not to. Mark Cuban, our guy Mark Cuban, is 9:45. We are running behind schedule.
I love Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban talks about, boy, if you like Shark Tank like we like Shark Tank, I can tell when Mark Cuban's going to be in or out. Okay. There's some immediate no's for him. If they say anything about, if you ask them, what do you want this money for? They need to be saying stuff like for marketing, okay, for marketing of their product. They need to say something like that, or research and marketing and development and hiring. They need to say stuff like that. Where they say, I need this money so I can live on for a year while I'm developing this, or live on for 6 months. Game over. Nope, I'm not doing that. He's not with that at all. You ready to do the greeting songs, baby?
Yes.
Can you finish tying that yet?
You know what? This is not bothering you.
Apparently,
I'm not over in your area. Nothing. I'm right here.
I'm wondering what it means. I wonder what it means. It must mean something.
It just means it's interesting for me to do. I'm enjoying it.
It's gotta have a meaning. Like, is it loneliness or?
How can I be lonely with you right here?
You could be in the same house with somebody and still be lonely. That's possible.
Yes, that's possible. But I mean, you're not just in the same house with me. You are in the same seat with me right now.
Practically. I don't know what it could mean. Take it from the top. We're going to do what we do here. If this is your first time here, her name is Lisa Santiago McNeill. Doesn't it sound like a cool name? Lisa Santiago McNeill. Yes, that includes the Santiago part, and you do say it every time. That's Lisa Santiago McNeill, and she's one part of the empowerment duo. I am
Brian K. McNeill, and you must include the K if you want to be able to find Mr. Fabulous himself.
That's right.
The sales confidence coach.
And we're the empowerment duo. And now this show is called Let's Talk About It. This show got launched October of 2016. And if you use your fingers, you can see we've been doing this show Monday through Friday for 7 years now. Whoop, whoop, 7 years now. Okay, We've been doing this show. And with her on my side. That's right. So we got some stuff figured out. This show has a mission. We talk about personal conversations,
business information,
and spiritual inspiration
with a little bit of shenanigans thrown in.
Our expressed ministry is
economic independence
through
entrepreneurship.
That's it. That's who we are. That's what we are about. And we like to thank people that have been rocking with us and are consistent contributors to our show. And the way we thank them is with greeting songs and with greeting logos. Up first today is Dr. Deborah Dunstan. She has a greeting song, and it goes,
Dr. Deborah, healing trauma manifestation coach.
That's our lady, Dr. Deborah Dunstan. Our sister Shirley DeJarnette Wyatt is a wonderful contributor. She got a jam too.
Shirley DeJarnette
Wyatt will rock you, rock you. Shirley DeJarnette Wyatt will rock you, rock you.
ERGJ in the building.
Talk to your man. It's your boy in the building. Evan Jefferson in the building. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We also have Craig Sabb in the building.
Craig Sabb, 1,000 degrees.
You'll be on your knees.
And you'll be burning, begging, please. Brother Freeze. Craig, let me borrow your VCR so I can dub a tape. That's right. Craig does have a VCR still, and he does watch VHS tapes. Yes, he does.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for continuing to show up and share with us your morning. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow or hearing all about your fantasticness. We do have a guest for you tomorrow.
A guest?
Hollywood. Absolutely.
Do you mean the Phyllis Hollywood is going to be our guest tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Wow.
We look forward to bringing her here. Make sure that you share the broadcast, invite somebody, and we look forward to seeing you then. Make sure that you also bring your links so that we know
Friday, shout it out.
Shout it out Friday.
This is Thursday already this week.
Mm-hmm. It is, and we want to make sure that we celebrate with you.
I rediscovered a great song. I got a 1 minute left, okay? This morning, as I was writing Dr. Deborah, I was listening to some gospel music. And this song is an old school song, not that old school, by Yolanda Adams, In the Midst of It All. And I played that song on repeat. And I was remembering, man, what a great song. And so I'm going to encourage you guys to listen to that song by Yolanda Adams. Get yourself in a place where you can really appreciate the song, where you're still kind of in the midst of it all. I'm going to play it again when the show's over by Yolanda Adams because it's speaking to my spirit. Shirley DeJarnette says, great song. Isn't it a great song? Even the way she starts the song. And it speaks to resilience. I've come through the heartaches and trials. Come on. That's the beginning of the song. I've come through these things in the midst of it all.
Dr. Deborah says, I love that song.
Yes.
It is a beautiful song.
That is a song about, maybe that's why I came up with the topic, because I was listening to that. Resilience is a critical element to your life. You know, you're not having stuff happen to you. It's happening for you. Okay? These trials that come, and they will come. It's not they come to make you strong, and the game ain't over like that. You could say to anybody on the street, I heard about that problem you're having or had. So they either in a storm, came out of a storm, heading to a storm. But you can deal with storms. You can handle it. You can handle it. And you get better and better and better at it.
Absolutely.
A forest. You know where the strongest trees are? On the outer ring of the forest.
Outside.
And not only are they the strongest, because they take the most weather. They get beat upon. But they're also the most malleable. They bend and sway. When the heavy storms come, they're the ones that lean and stand back up again.
They're resilient.
They're resilient. Okay? The trees that are within that don't take nearly as much weather, they can grow and they can get tall, but they become more rigid, which makes them easier to get knocked over and break.
Yep.
When when lumberjacks go, they go deep into the woods and take those trees. They take the trees deep. They don't go up to the first tree they see. That's not the ones that you want to cut down. Those are the ones that are still more bendable. They want the rigid hard wood. The rigid hard wood is deep in the forest. Okay. Message.
We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And don't forget to have sex.